So welcome to this month's Vanners collaboration, and this month it's all about the day in the life of a motorhomer or a caravanner. So you'll find a link to the playlist in the description below and a card at the end of the video. This isn't going to be a typical day because it's sunny and we're in the UK. In fact, we're going to take the motorhome away and go off-grid for this weekend, and they're forecasting temperatures
up to 27 degrees.
30 degrees, I heard, 30 degrees. So we'll have to do a few things more than we normally would. Now, we're going to go and put the motorhome on the hookup. We've got hookup at home, and purely to get the fridge nice and cool. So when we load it up tomorrow afternoon, when we set off, the fridge will be nice and cool. Yeah. Right, so when we set off on a trip, before we even start, we've got two checklists we follow, and they're fairly detailed. So we have separate sections. We have one for me, when the stuff I want to take. We've got one for Antonia. First thing we do is we make sure that the stuff that we normally keep in the motorhome, and we do keep most of the stuff we need in the motorhome. We've got two of everything. 2 dishes, 2 blah blah whatever. So we just make sure we haven't taken anything out to clean it or service it or whatever. Then we often put the motorhome on the ECU. We've got an ECU at home, either first thing in the morning or last thing at night, to allow the fridge to cool down. So that's the first step. Now I'm sure you've heard this hundreds of times, but you really should uncoil your lead before connecting it to the mains. We often see people with their mains lead partially or fully wound up. It's just a fire risk, just don't do it.
Check everything is charged, your mobile phone, laptop, power bank, extra batteries for torch, yeah, and then you need night lights.
Yeah, because we've got a couple of night lights which we use, which have got infrared sensors on them, so as you move, the lights come on.
That's for when you use that for when we're off-grid.
Yeah, when we're off-grid. So another thing to consider, if you have a prescription or you take regular medicine and you're going for a long journey, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, 3 months, whatever, you may have to get an extra prescription from the doctor to allow you to have the correct medicine.
The next one is the mobile SIM top up, so that you can watch Netflix or
YouTube or anything. Yeah, so
YouTube.
We have a router in the motorhome which has a SIM, and therefore you need to make sure it's got enough data on it. So clearly it's quite important you have the site details. You know how you're going to get there, you know the phone number in case you've got an emergency, you know the check-in time, so just make sure you've got those. You may have an email from them, in which case make sure you print that off.
Yeah, make sure you have the correct date.
And of course some of them have got very complex arrival procedures where you have to go a certain route or take a certain direction, whatever, narrow roads, that sort of thing. Obviously check that, well, you need to know in advance whether it's off-grid or on-grid.
Yeah. Do
you have to take one of your portable water carriers? Do you need to take your mains leads with you? That sort of thing. So I hope that you found that useful. Now we'll show you some of the checklists that we use. We have two main checklists. One of them is before we physically depart, so we check through, it tells us all the things to check, make sure. And the other one is the vehicle sort of movement, let's call it a vehicle movement checklist. So things to check before we physically drive away, things to check if we stop at services or stop somewhere for a break, i.e. we may have to put the fridge or the freezer on to keep things cool while we're stopped. And then we've got another one where we've arrived on site, things to check as well, and then another one before we departure. So it's just a very short list, but it's some things, especially in our motorhome. A couple of times I've left the heating on. Now the heating doesn't go off with the main power switch for some bizarre reason on our motorhome, so that's quite annoying, and we've discharged the battery at the time. So this checklist, just make sure we don't do those silly things, and as and when we discover a new item, think, oh, we messed up there, we put it on the checklist. Right.
Yeah.
Let's get on and do some motorhoming. Then we've got to put the sat nav in place. Now we're very fortunate as I've made a little modification to ours, so it's very easy to install. That's it, it's in place and locked, and that just goes in there. Now our motorhome uses the whale system, and this is a big square thing. Now unfortunately nobody seems to make a hose gadget for rolling up the hose, so I've made one. I've got a custom built one. So whale, if you're listening and you want to know how to make this, give me a call. The system, this just plugs into the side. Unfortunately you can't just use a regular hose, you've got to use their custom hose to fill it up. If you're using on site and you want to fill it up from a bottle, they give you an adapter. Other things we do before every journey are put something under here to stop this rattling. In the microwave we just wrap the little plates. So Antonia's going to load up the fridge and the freezer. In view of the fact that this weekend they're predicting temperatures of up to 30 degrees Celsius, we're going to be topping up with lots of drinks. So when we go on a journey, especially if the journey is more than a mile away, we like to set off really early in the morning to try and miss all the traffic. Now, to do that, what we do, we plan an extra route. So for instance, when we went to Cirencester, we planned to go to Westonbirt Arboretum. So we set off, I don't know, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. We arrive at the Arboretum, 7 or 8, whatever the time was, and we use their car park. And while we're at their car park, we're not being bothered by anybody. We go and we visit Westonbirt, spend 3 or 4 hours there. By the time we finish touring Westonbirt, we make our way to Cirencester. So first thing we need to do when we arrive on site is turn the gas on so the fridge will carry on working. We just switch that to gas, and then we just ignite the gas by pressing this one. That's it, and the little bar moves across to show us we've got the gas on. And because we're off grid, that's pretty much it. Normally we'd have to set up the EHU cable, we'd have to set the wastewater up if we're on a fully serviced site. Our motorhome, we're very lucky in much as self-leveling, so we don't often have to use chocks, only occasionally if it's really, really out of whack. So that's pretty much it. We're just going to chill and relax now and enjoy ourselves. So next thing you'll see is us packing up. As we're off grid and we're only running on gas, we have to make sure the gas is off. One quick walk around, make sure there's nothing obscuring the vehicle or in the way. A quick look around, make sure everything looks okay. Tyres look okay. The waste is there, ready to be disposed of on our way out. The seats are all locked and in the right position. Table's locked. All the kitchen area, all the cupboards, all the doors, all the locks are done. The skylights are all closed and secure. So it's time to go home. So be sure to check out the rest of the videos in the playlist to see how each day in the life of the other vanners unfold. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more motorhome related content. We'd love to hear from you, so please leave a comment below with your thoughts and suggestions. Your support means the world to us and helps us to create more videos for you to enjoy. So thanks for watching.